Confess. Despite having played D&D since 3rd edition, I sometimes use sock puppet accounts on Roll20 and Discord to join beginner-only games or games targeted at new players, because I unironically have more fun playing with normies than veteran grognards. That's a nice confession, I like that. Hey, what's up everybody, I'm SkyDieRay and welcome to another episode of DnDGreentext. This is episode 64. Yeah, without any further ado, enjoy! Yeah, first DM was absolute trash. Join into existing group, don't really know the other players. Have mentally unstable sorcerer character. Goddamn baked goods aficionado. Stores spells in cookies like scrolls, etc. A good month or two in, DM hates me and my character for joining the game instead of following his perfect plot points and quantum ogres. Other players are also getting a little butthurt over the railroading. Going to the Underdark, meet Durgar Merchant. Very nice man, has cool pastries, clearly the DM put something cool in for my character. Roll a con save. Peak related. Character is immobilized and starts taking huge amounts of damage. Our Behel cleric paints the wall with the merchant. After the fight, my character is about to force feed this asshole one of the pastries. DM is just appalled. Pleasant surprise when cleric teammate steps up and starts helping me, healing and restraining the guy. We shit on a pastry and force feed him. Sorry, what the f? All the players have a good giggle while the DM is being a pissy bitch. That player has become a lifelong friend, and I'm now forever DM for that group after he ran them off, so no loss in the end. Plenty more fun stories from that guy. Player tries to betray us. Punch him out. Kick him out. Betrayal never happened. Proceed with game. Easy. I played in a game of D&D that had betrayal as the premise of the game. Despite everyone knowing that, it still hurt when the traitor f***ed us over, so we cut him out of our group. This is the stupidest thing I've ever read. The f*** is wrong with you? Game gets cancelled because DM and his girlfriend are having problems. The girlfriend isn't even the problem, it's the sh**kill DM who skimmed over the rulebook and is allergic to anything not D&D. I'd rather have the girlfriend be the DM than the CR who screams, "Natural one, I gotta have fun with you, woohoo!" Because she at least puts in effort into reading rules and getting into character. Sounds like your DM just watched a bunch of Critical Role and decided that was enough to know how to run a game. He no f***ing joke sicked 2 griffins on us, 4 level 3 characters who had to previously deal with a pack of wolves. He's the type of DM to fling a dragon at us, give us no way to escape the combat, and when we die, go, "Oops, guess I went a little too hard on you guys, I'm a lethal DM." Isn't it so wacky to have to fight impossible odds, and the second you say, "I want to not be fighting them," I go, "Lol, no, you can't escape." Thankfully, one of our other players DMs often and doesn't pull that. A player wishes to be a Paladin of America. I'm half tempted to let him do it. What powers would such a character even have access to? In before, Herder, Burgers, Oil and Israel. If 3.5, I'd go with a Paladin of Freedom. This, Paladin of Freedom, is the go-to for 3.5. 5th edition would probably be a reflavored Oath of the Crown or Conquest. Go for the Goddess of Columbia instead. As an American, I'd say a Paladin of America is more about attitude than the actual mechanics. He comes off as generous and kind-hearted, but rarely thinks things through fully and has a serious mean streak underneath it all. The mean streak is often all those who see it remember. Conquest or Devotion Path if playing 5th edition. Abilities. Summon food at will, always very calorie dense like fried food or cheeseburgers. Some sort of fireball or explosion based power. Necessary observances. Feeding the poor. Overthrowing tyrants. Doing everything by vote. Drawbacks. Always very loud. Penalty to stealth. Belligerent and stubborn. Penalty to wisdom. Holy Smite is now a ranged attack with a friendly fire component, courtesy of your god's ever-present observation from the heavens. Skill proficiency in firearms. Cannot take additional languages. All airborne attacks against you automatically crit on 9 and 11, and I don't know what the rest of the sentence is trying to say, I'm sorry. America Paladin's power increases with the amount of money they have on hand. Me getting euthanized. Goodbye that JPEG. Be me. Join a 5th edition game. Tell the DM I'm thinking of playing a charisma caster like Bard or Warlock, because I like participating in roleplaying. DM tells me it's okay and that he would prefer I not be a charisma class, because we already have a sorcerer. DM swears up and down that conversations will be based on what we say, not our charisma stat. Think that sounds cool and play a barbarian instead, so I can be the big boisterous, enthusiastic guy. Every conversation ends up being a series of diplomacy checks and insight checks, both of which I suck at, regardless of what I say. I literally come up with more persuasive arguments than the sorcerer, but she gets to win every conversation ever because high charisma. Just kill me. Edgy rogues versus edgy paladins. Chaotic evil rogue. I still don't get it. If we're the same alignment, why are you so much better at being evil than me? Chaotic evil paladin. True evil is born through pain and loss. You see, when I was a small boy back in Phandalin, I had a toy train. Then one day, I lost it. That's it? What do you mean? What's your emotionally scaring backstory? That's your great tragedy? Dude, I was raised by ocelots. Well, how did you feel when you lost that toy train? Well, I'd never lost that toy train. Well, maybe if you had, you would have done better. Your seduction attempt fails. She laughs at you.
Just like the simulation.
How do you deal with this kind of humiliation without making your character look like a complete buffoon? Be me, fighter. Be not me, bard, wizard, and barbarian. Party and I were at the local tavern after defeating a cult leader. Bard decides to go to the Wizard gets us a round of ale. Me and the barbarian get into a debate on who killed more cultists. Our discussion was interrupted by the sounds of laughter. We look up to see a barmaid laughing at the wizard. The wizard then walks back with his head hanging in embarrassment. We asked him what happened. He said that he asked her if she wanted to have a drink with us. We chuckled. He starts to sulk. I then tell him he sucks at seduction. Wizard. Well, if you're so good, maybe you should give it a shot. Challenge accepted. 2 minutes go by and the barmaid delivers our drinks. I then begin to talk to her. Hey, I wanted to apologize about my friend. He's not really good with talking to people, let alone a beautiful young woman such as yourself. She blushes. It's fine, I get it all the time. I then ask her for her name. She tells me it's Lucy. Nice to meet you, Lucy. Listen, I know you may be busy, but I wanted to ask if you could at least have a drink with us. We just had a hard week and your beautiful presence would lift our spirits up. Oh, I don't think I can. Oh, come on, it's just one drink. Hell, I'll even throw in some stories about our adventures while we're at it. She begins to smile. Well... Before she can continue, the bard came back to the table. Word to the wise, don't go in there for a few minutes. He then looks at Lucy. Who's this chick? I scowl at the bard. This is Lucy. I was seeing if she wanted to have a drink with us. The bard looks at me and then back to Lucy. He then picked up his tankard and slammed back the ale. Why would she want to do that when I got a perfectly warm bed upstairs? Lucy then giggles and starts walking up to the bard's room. We sat there, wondering what the f just happened. I made a latent aloe fiend that I grew attached to. She started off as a notable half-elf in the city the PCs lived in. Caught the rogue's attention by having an unnaturally high charisma, 19. She really impressed him when she narrowly beat him in a drinking contest. Periodically, they would encounter her in the city. Sometimes she would distract the guards while the PCs would flee from them, and other times she would provide information and provide minor assistance to their heists. The rogue started courting her, which allowed me to flesh out her personality and interests. She tells the rogue she never knew her mother, and her father was overly protective of her. She also expresses a desire to travel and become a bard, which caused the rogue to buy her a lute. Eventually, she starts getting a little dark, even going as far as suggesting to murder Mark to the rogue. After he kills him, they get drunk at his house and go up to his room where the rogue sees her eyes turn red before fading to black. She disappeared after that, with the rogue unsure if she was a vampire or a demon. Sadly, the campaign got shelved a few sessions later due to a new player joining and me stepping down as DM. My character portrait is anime. Is that okay with you? This is like a used sex shop, in that it always gives me bad vibes. Case in point, running an Adventurers League game. Do the Rives wanting to join? Ask him if he has a character in mind. He tells me yes. I ask to see his character sheet. He hands me it. From first inspection, it seemed alright. Guy wanted to play a tiefling sorcerer with a noble background. Name was Sir Bastian Michaelis. But then it all started to go awry when I saw his stats. Natural 20 in all stats. Character was level 3. Movement speed of 100 meters. What? No weapons. Instead used bare hands, which did 3 d20s and had a plus 12 to hit. It was at this point where I was just reading to see how ridiculous it can get. Health was 800. had proficiency in every skill, had 500 meters of true sight, knew every language, was a shapeshifter, resistant to everything. It was like I was holding a sheet of a DMPC. I then noticed he had a picture taped on the back of the sheet. Curiosity made me flip that over to see what it was. And there, taped on the back of the sheet, was a lewd picture of Sebastian from Black Butler. It was at this point where I started to break down laughing. Once I got my together, I told the guy that he would need to rework all his stats in order to play. He got butthurt, told me that I'm a shitty DM, told me to go f myself, and then left. I'm still laughing at the absurdity of it all. Alright, that was it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like if you did and subscribe for more. I really appreciate it and it really helps me. Also, a big thank you to everyone supporting the channel on Patreon. I really appreciate that. If you want to support the channel yourself, there's a link below to the Patreon, or you can now also support me directly on YouTube if you want. You are basically getting the same benefits as on Patreon, and yeah, I don't know, it's basically the same thing, just easier for me, I guess. Anyway, there's links below if you wanna check out the Discord as well and anything else, and yeah, that's it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day, bye!